do. Josh, I'm going to kick it off to you, buddy, because this is your show today. I'm just here to, be part of it because I know what rock stars you both are. I'm going to take notes. I'm just stoked to have you guys both on the More Momentum call. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules. Josh is literally sailing his boat right now over the seas, but he's
Savage.
still being responsible and accountable enough to still be on this call. How
Here
cool
you
is
go. Here,
that?
here, here, literally sailing right now in the middle of the ocean. You can see the Bahamas just off to our starboard side, but that's where we are. But like you said, I wasn't going to miss up this opportunity to hang out with you and the Momentum Builder community. More importantly, to hang out with my boy Alec Hanson, who
Bro.
is the Chief Marketing Officer over at Loan Depot. Guys, Alec and I have had a relationship for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. This guy has not only been a mentor to me, he has mentored so many people in the industry. Don mentioned Todd Duncan, but to me, as somebody who's continued to come up in this industry, watching Alec in the executive role that he has as the leader who he is and currently continues to be, it's incredibly inspiring. And when I talked to the Momentum Builder team, I said, we haven't had Alec on the call before.
Bro.
What the hell is wrong with us
Right?
to have this guy join us? Because he will drop some fire. He will drop some knowledge that no one else has. So
Dude.
without further ado, I cannot be more excited or humbled to be welcoming my good friend Alec Hanson to the call.
Bro, you're out of your mind, man. Just on the boat, just rocking and rolling. And thanks, Don. Dude, I'm stoked. Anytime we could get together as a community and collaborate and get better, we win. And so it's super. I love this kind of stuff because this is what moves the needle. So just well done and thanks for doing it.
I
Yeah, and
say,
make sure you guys use your reactions too, because that gets not that you have to pump up Josh, heaven forbid, my goodness, but it pumps up me and it'll give Alec some extra kudos and stuff. So use these, give him some love, give him some thumbs up, and collaboration is key. That's what makes this
Yeah.
more. And ask questions in the chat. Let's be hard. Look
Yeah.
at Brian Border in the house.
there you
Um,
go.
Josh, are you
And
using Starlink?
yes, Starlink. Yes, and
All right.
Starlink is
Porter told me I
amazing.
had to get it too, because when I go practice for my motocross championships, I'm out in Glen Helen and there's no reception there. So I'm gonna order that
I,
sucker.
as you guys saw, I'm in the middle of the ocean, and Starlink works amazingly. Elon and his team, they got it dialed in. So get one of those if you're traveling anywhere in remote locations. It's amazing. But as Alex said, Don, we're truly grateful and humbled for you and the Momentum Builder team putting this call on, and the Momentum Builder community for being here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day. We know, hey, in an hour out of your schedule, or 45 minutes out of your schedule, it's a lot of time. So we appreciate you being committed to this process, for you getting better and wanting to improve. And if you saw our topic today, there's literally nobody else better, in my opinion, to help with this. Alec has been one of those people who has been so consistent on social media, and not just consistent himself, but he trains and he shows up. He's done the 100-day challenge of showing up on social media. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But he's one of those people that I'm like, if you know me at all, social media is the play. Social media can help grow your business, in my opinion, better and faster than anything else. Any other marketing you have, again, we've all been doing this a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Alec's been doing this, Don's been doing this for a long time. We remember the days of mailers, we remember the days of emails. It's always something in marketing. Today's social media, and Alec and I have been tooting this horn for years and years and years, but it's finally starting to come to fruition. And we wanted to share with all of you, because I hear this a lot. And as I was talking with Alec, thinking of some ideas, people ask, well, Josh, Alec, does social media really lead to business? How can I turn my post into profit? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today and what we want to share with you, because ultimately we want for you to be successful on social media. So, Alec, let's dive right into this
Yeah.
conversation. Social media, can being active on social media really increase a mortgage professional's profits? Can it really help a real estate professional grow their business?
Well, let's put this in two camps and just go right into it. Let's talk about offense and defense from a marketing perspective and a branding perspective. So, and I want to layer this up for everybody so you know why I'm sharing the way I'm sharing. I am as old school as you get. In 2002 and 3 when I started, I was told to go get 8 business cards from realtors every day before coming into the office. And if you were alive in 2003, it was a giant refi boom. And my mentor, this guy Kevin Buddy, who changed my life, forced me to drive around to get business cards from agents. So I did what everyone else did, and I went directly to the car wash and took the agent's cards and then pretended I had done my work and came into the office. I'm sharing that because the reality of our business hasn't changed. The place we're playing it has changed. Our business has always been relationship building business. That's what it's been from day one. And so the place that we're playing it now gets to change. Don't mishear me. In the streets, broker previews, open houses, networking events, lunch and learns, all the localized stuff, still critical, important. Don't stop doing it. So don't get this twisted as we talk digital and social. That stuff still matters, but it's now an and world. And what are you doing in the digital space? So we knew back in the glory days and today that in order to stay relevant, we have to stay in contact, in vicinity with the people we want to influence. The realtors are past customers. So if I ask you or anybody on this call, what's your strategy with realtors? You probably can give me one. I go to open houses, I go to previews, I call. Great. If I ask you, what's your strategy with past customers? You probably can give me one. I have an email that goes out from behalf of my company and I call them for a loan anniversary. When I ask you what your strategy is for digital to stay relevant, people just go off the cliff and they don't really have one. And so let's talk about how to be defensive and thoughtful. I want everyone to just think of an insurance company right now. You don't have to put it in the chat, but just think of an insurance company. And instantly, as I said this, one popped into your brain. It popped into your brain, and you probably don't even use that insurance company. But it popped into your brain because they've won the headspace. They've won the brand position in your brain through repetition and frequency. They've won. And so they own that space because they have pounded you in the face every day with content on the places that you're consuming it to maintain relevance. So if you're trying to do that with your past customers today and you're relying on email, physical mail, and a call every 6 months to a year, if you're even making those calls, you're failing. And so let me say it in a nicer way. You're not maximizing the opportunity in front of you to drive the level of success you're capable of. That's what you're doing. You're just stepping back and abdicating. And today, when it's hard as hell to do our business, when there's a lot of naysaying and doomsaying floating around and inventory issues, you've got to be on the offense to stay relevant. I hope I don't have to explain to everybody that everyone's staring at their phones all day long. Like, I hope you have the awareness to look around and see the upcoming generation, the 30-year-olds, they're staring at their phone all the time. And they're staring at social media all the time. And I'm going to put YouTube in as social media, but let's just say they're consuming content, getting entertained. And when I challenge everybody, where are you? Are you showing up at all? The top of Joss's shirt. The first thing, show up. Are you even showing up at all? And I get it. We all have a face for radio. We're insecure. We don't like cameras. It's not for us. But those excuses are actually the world doesn't care about those excuses. They're just going to keep operating the way they're operating. And you can have any excuse you want, and it's just limiting and minimizing your chance for success. So, and by the way, if you have questions and you want to challenge me or if you want to ask it, throw it in the chat, I'll get to you. But I want to lay this foundation that the game hasn't changed. The place we're playing it has changed. It's relational. And if you want to be in relationship with somebody, what do you have to do? You have to hang out with them. You got to be in community with them. You got to be, that's how you get in relationships. Did anybody trick someone into marrying them? How'd you do it? You just started talking to them all the time and then hanging out all the time, and then boom, relationship. So for everyone who says they're relational in this business as a mortgage professional, and if I sit behind you for a week and you don't call any past customers, you're not cheering anybody online, you're not out of your office, you're lying to yourself. We're not relational. And the opportunity is to be relational on digital.
Well, and Alec, I think that's what some people sometimes forget, is that social media is a relationship you are creating. So many people are like, well, I'm not creating, I'm scrolling, like I waste time on social media. That means you're using social media wrong. And I think that's a place we need to really head up, because there's so many people who use social media wrong. You're probably, if it's not creating profits within your business, you're probably not utilizing it in the way that you should. And hey, I actually like how you call people out. It's okay to fail. There have been plenty of things in the past that we have failed on as mortgage professionals. We learned from them. And if you haven't got to social media, or you felt like you failed on social media up to this point, it's a learning game. Do you think Alec and I said, oh, well, it didn't work anymore? Alec, I guarantee, can give you 5, if not more, plenty of campaigns that have failed on social media, posts that have failed on social media. posts that we put together that were like, this is going to crush it. We spent time, we spent hours, and it flops. 2 people view it, it doesn't do anything. But that is absolutely okay. And Alec, I think what you're talking about and sharing with people, it's okay for people to understand that you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fail, but as long as you're trying, as long as you're looking to build those relationships, you can still win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, so let me put the pin on the defensive strategy here. If you want to turn posts into profits and connection into profits and your community into profits, into loans and opportunity, you have to be connected to people and you have to stay relevant. And when they're staring at social media, staring at YouTube, staring at these platforms on a daily basis, and you're not showing up at all, and you're relying on a 30% email open rate, and the calls you don't make to help you win, you're not going to win. And that's just what happens. And so defensively, you need to show up all the time on these platforms and actually invest in your community. And this is what I mean. I want you to do a quick audit of your digital community. Who are you connected to on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, X? Who are you connected with on any of the TikTok? Who are you connected with? If it's not all your past clients, if it's not all the realtors in your market that are movers and shakers, if you haven't gone down to the Chamber of Commerce and got all the financial planners' names and CPA names and business owner names and connected these people into your tools, into these social tools, then you don't have a platform for success because you're not connected to the right people. But once you are, and you put in the real work, this is the real work of like bringing this community together. Now, if you just go out and be more interested in them than you are about talking about yourself, you're going to dramatically win from this defensive position. You're going to gather headspace. You're going to stay relevant. You're going to get business and referrals at a gigantic higher clip than you are today. And this is before you've even posted a video. I haven't even made you post a video yet. This is just you loving on your community, connecting with humans that are out there in the world. You're going to go up 10 to 20% in your business just right there. Done. End of story. Does that make sense defensively, everybody? You guys get me? You were tracking?
Yeah. And hopefully, guys, if you have questions as Alec and I are going through this, he already said it. Drop in the chat like, hey, how do I do this? Explain this more. Dive into this. Please drop them. We're here for you. We want to answer those questions. Literally, like, you've spent the time to be here. So please be willing to get clarification or get a little more information that you need so you can execute on this. Now, Alec, you mentioned something too that I think is absolutely spot on when it comes to putting yourself out there, showing up on a consistent basis. And something that you and the Loan Depot team done so well is helping your team show up and create content. And something that you are so brilliant at is creating captivating content that makes an impact. So in your opinion, what kind of content have you seen perform best for mortgage professionals that does help them build that relationship with their community?
Perfect question, Josh, because all our team is always like, you see people posting the posts, but why waste your time if you can do it right? Am I right, sure, Alec?
Yeah, so there's some questions coming in too, which is amazing. So like, how do we connect to the community? What do we do? So let me just give you some tactics and then we'll go into what to say. Tactics: physically print out your past customer list and the top 100 agents in your market and literally open up 5 tabs on your computer: LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Copy their name into each one and find them and connect to those people. That's tactically what you do. Grindy, crappy work, but you got to get your community there and then spend the next 10 to 15 minutes looking through scrolling through the feed, not doom scrolling. But when you see a realtor post that you're prospecting, when you see a past customer share little Timmy's soccer goal, comment. Let them know you actually care about them. Don't just like and cruise by, comment, and you're going to drive brand awareness or reputation awareness. You're going to drive connection and you're going to build your business. And so that's the tactical stuff of just the grind of the work. But let's talk about what to say. Okay. Everyone, I believe, has this paralyzation of what to say for several reasons. Number one, they're afraid that they're insecure. Okay, I'm with you. I'm going to call it out. You're afraid you're going to say something dumb. You're afraid you're going to say something wrong. You got imposter syndrome. Who cares what you have to say? Why do you even matter? That's a real thing. It's here. Second, you see a lot of people on social that turn you off. You see a lot of people posting stuff that you're like, I hate this. I see them all the time. And my argument is, you don't hate their frequency. You hate what they're posting. You hate their content. You dislike it. You're turned off by it. You're not attracted to it. And I'll tell you why. In my opinion, it's because their content is all about themselves. Their perfect Instagram life, their fast closing. If I see another loan officer talk about how fast their closing is, I'm going to punch the search. I know you're amazing. You're awesome. But like, let's just put this into context for a second. Let's just pretend that I'm at a networking event with Don and I see Don across the room. And I've seen Don on the internet, but I've never seen him in real life. So I run over to Don and I go, Don, Alec Hanson, great to meet you. Hey, really quick, would you just look at my last Facebook post here? Will you just take a look at this? Look how amazing I am. I closed this loan in 5 days, Don. Can you even believe it? In fact, hold on. Let me open up Yelp. Don, you see this Yelp review I just got 2 days ago? Holy shit, I'm amazing. Can you believe I got this Yelp review? Can you imagine in a networking event? Don would be like terrified. He'd be like, how quickly can I get away from this psychopath? And then on social media, this is what we do. We just start punching people in the face with your Yelp reviews and your 5-day closing. Shut the hell up. Now, instead, go be helpful. Why are you in this business? It's not for money. It's not because you'd quit. It's too painful. You wouldn't stay around. It's not for the entrepreneurial life. I get it. You love it. That's great. You stay in this business because deep down there is an emotional and spiritual benefit that you get from helping people. I know that's the truth. I've worked with Originators for 25 years and I'm one of them. There's a deep connection to the real work you do of helping somebody with their finances. And that's what keeps you in the game, even though this industry is insane and painful at times, like now. So how can you be helpful to somebody out there, even if it's just one person? And if you start making content from that perspective, you can actually get off your own insecurities a little bit. You can, because you're like, look, I need to help somebody. So I'm going to ignore what I look like and sound like. And I'm just going to share something that's helpful to somebody out there. If you can just start there. And by the way, I'll get more tactical and we can talk about how to say it specifically and hooks and intros and all that crap. But the foundation is the most important thing. We are so done, and I mean we, like your community, your past customers, your prospects, with the humble brag bullshit, the whole like, look at me, look how good I am. Stop. We're done. Instead, turn the camera on and share something that can help somebody else. Y'all with
Alec,
me?
this is why I have so much admiration, respect, and love for you, because you just call it as it is. You're calling out all the bullshit right here, right now. Like, not to say, hey, you know what? There was a time and a place. I understand the humble brag to a certain extent. Back in time, people don't care anymore. That is not what content is like. I need to call Alec right now because he closed that loan in whatever days. Like, seriously, I see that and I'm like, bleh. Like, I don't feel connected to you.
Let me hit this for a second too, from another angle, right? So I'm absolutely a believer that every single originator should have a Google business page on the #1 search engine in the world, Google. And I'm a massive believer that you should get reviews from real humans on Google so that when somebody actually wants to see if you're any good, they'll go see third-party proof. I'm into third-party proof, but you don't need to punch me in the face with it. If I want to see it, I'll go find it. So get it, it's useful, it's crucial, but how you use it is what matters. And Craig's right, it's all over Facebook and Instagram and it's awful. And you're agreed. And this is why a lot of us are hiding from this now. So I'm taking your excuse away. You don't get to hide anymore. It's awful. Okay, don't be awful. Go be awesome. Like, don't be like, this is no more excuses, because here's another piece of this reality. Okay. I'm just going to talk about two narratives, two stories. Okay. In 2016, one of the best commercials came out for a mortgage company I'd ever seen on the Super Bowl. It had one sentence: push button, get mortgage. And I was like,
Yep.
damn, that was good. And it was good marketing because it was a lie. It's not true. You can't just push a button and get a mortgage, but it was really good. It made it look like it was so easy, and everyone knows what company this was, so we're not going to talk about it. But that narrative doesn't say, listen to what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, push a button, talk to an experienced professional who can guide you and consult with you and educate you and credit prep you and get you ready to make one of the biggest decisions of your life in the largest debt of your life to help you and your family set up for generational wealth and then get your mortgage. It misses that part of the story. Now, is that part of the story important? It's the part of the story that it's important. It's the story. It's everything. And it's left out. But companies, that and others, are spending billions of dollars a year to tell your customer that you're irrelevant. So the flip side of the coin is, who's telling your story? And if it's not you, then there's one story being told to your customers, to your referral partners, to everybody else. And so who's telling yours? So Eric, great. Will you be able to give some examples of what you would like to see us post about? Yes, Eric, I'm going to do it right now. All right. Let's deal with evergreen content and current event content. What is a current situation everyone's facing today? I'll give you one, but if you want to put some in the chat too, great. What's a current event all of you are dealing with today? Here's the easiest one. How many of your customers have a 3.5% or 4% rate? And Eric said debt, which is true too. How many of your customers are struggling with debt? A lot. You don't use the Google. The debt in the United States for the average consumer is the highest it's ever been. The equity for our customers is the highest it's ever been in the history of the United States. And the interest rate on their first mortgage is 3.5%. Here is a video a gal did named Sherry Cash that I absolutely am obsessed with. And I'm going to talk about how she did it and then distribution. Don't forget distribution. Write that down somewhere in the corner. Distribution. It's very important. But her video was, why would you ever refinance out of a 3.5% interest rate? Let me tell you a story. That's her hook. That's her pitch. That's the intro. And so what did she tell the story about? Well, you all know this story. She told the story of somebody, a past client of hers, who got into some debt because life sucks sometimes. And she didn't, it's not her fault. It wasn't like she's at Vegas just blowing it all away, but she just got into debt because life happens. Some medical stuff, some situations. And what's the average interest rate on debt? 24%. So do the math. How much debt do you have to be before a debt consolidation loan going from a 4.5% or a 4% rate to a 7% rate actually makes sense? There is math when this works. And she told the story of a past customer where she saved them almost $1,000 a month in cash flow. By the way, Barry Habib's been talking about this for 50 freaking years. This isn't new. This isn't new. This is the same thing. This is just strategy. But she took the message and she made a TikTok post. By the way, she edited it with Shred It, so I got to give Josh some props. She got her normal 250 views before TikTok put it down. She put it on Instagram. She got some views. But here's what she did. She took this video, remember I said distribution, and she started just texting it to past customers. Just direct. And she'd say things like, hey, Don, I just have a quick video to share with you. You're a past customer of mine. This may not be your situation, but it was a situation for a friend of mine. And if you know anybody in this situation, would you consider sharing this text message? Now, of course, what she's saying is, Don, you might be in the situation, but I don't want to make you feel awkward and pretend like you took on a lot of debt. But she just texted out. And literally in a week, she got 3 deals. And that was the story she shared with me. So isn't that a great example of being helpful? Going back to like the purpose of this stuff, going back to like, what do I talk about? What's my example? That's a critical example of how you can take a knowledge you have and go be helpful and share it with people and get business. And if you put that online, she's going to get business. So here's another example. So
wait, real quick, Alec.
Yeah, Don, dive in anytime, dude. Just cut me off.
No, the only reason I don't want to miss this, and Josh has taught us this, so I know I'm speaking to the choir. But the key thing is when you're adding value, it shows because you know it. Versus, you feel almost ugly selling, but you feel you have to because I got to ask for the business and trying to grow it. But realistically, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. But when you're adding value, you truly are telling true stories of how you help somebody because you want to help more. You feel better about it. And I guarantee your message want to come across a lot more authentic and real because you're doing it for the right reasons, not just to sell. Am I right?
Yeah, it's 100% right. Now, let me just continue to strip away your excuses on what to talk about. Okay. Most of you probably have a little book floating around your office, right? A little notepad, a little notebook. If you don't, you should have one because you're solving problems every single day. You're solving problems for customers and realtors every single day. And so as you solve those problems for people, that's content because 1,000 other people have that same problem. And so you just need to get into the mindset of starting to document what you're solving. And if you're on a team, they're solving problems. So go take their problems and share those as solutions to other people that they're solving. You don't have to be the mastermind of all these problems, but there's unbelievable things to talk about all the time. And so let's just continue to unpack this and just do this exercise with me. If you want to put it in the chat, that's great. But a lot of you serve first-time homebuyers. What are 10 things a first-time homebuyer has to know before they buy their first house? And immediately in your mind, you're probably like, well, they need to understand, what credit they need. They need to understand their down payment. Lots of myths there. They need to understand what the interest rates are today and how they're determined and what's the APR mean. What's an inspection? What's an appraisal? How do I pick a good realtor? What's the mortgage process like? Bang, 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 bang. We can get 50 of these on the board in 10 seconds. Yeah, cash deposits, down payment assistance, on and on and on, closing costs. We know this. Okay. So what is something that someone needs to know if they're going to buy a second home? Well, it's all the same shit we just talked about, but just now for second homes. So what about investment properties? Yeah, all the same things, down payment, credit, but now specific to investment properties. What about renovation? What about reverse? What about down payment assistance? What about FHA? What about VA? What about USDA? Oh my God, you have things to talk about for centuries. And if you're passionate about some of these things, you get to just hit that topic again and again and again, because that's what you really care about, like vets or down payment assistance and affordability. So again, we got to stop making excuses. I don't know what to say. You know what to say. You know how to be helpful. You really do. You're helping people every day. So now we're back to I just need the courage to do it, to actually put myself out in a position of vulnerability, to win hearts and minds, to build influence and community, to care about the people I want to impact, and get off our own BS and just start performing. Now, again, there's tactics here. Should you have lighting, camera angles? We can talk about tactics, but those are all just excuses that hold you back. Editing, I can't edit. There's 1,000 solutions. Josh is on the phone. There's 1,000 solutions. So we got to pull ourselves out of all those, because that's just all BS holding us back. You got to put the lights on, and you got to go be helpful, and you got to tell your story, or else someone else is going to tell a different story. You're going to lose your relevance, and you're not going to achieve the level of success you're capable of.
Alec, this is one of those things that it baffles me when I hear a mortgage professional, a real estate professional say, I don't know what to post about. You just gave them, you actually gave them two great ideas, like actual ideas, but also your notebook. We tell people all the time, what's the last problem you solved? The top influencers and content creators on social media, sure, you may think they put out good content, but what do they actually do? They solve problems. The Alex Hormozis of the world, the Gary Vaynerchuks of the world, they're solving problems. I was literally just listening to Day Trading Attention, one of Gary Vaynerchuk's latest books. And what is he doing? He's helping us solve the problem of attention. Because as Alec mentioned earlier, attention is shifted. We as human beings, with the evolution of social media and where our attention is, hell, we all used to watch commercials. You remember when before TiVo was invented, before all that, like commercials were a big thing. They're not like commercials. You don't get jack for these days. Attention is where you need to be focusing, and creating the right content, as Alec is sharing with you, is how you can create the commercial. He mentioned the click button, get mortgage. We all were mortgage professionals, but we all are aware of that. And every single one of us wished we would have come up with that, like, holy shit, that could have changed our lives. Well, now you can. Now you have the opportunity to do just that via social media. One post can make all the difference. Something you say, the problem that you solve for your community, can be that post that makes. Now, here's one thing too I want to make very, very clear, and I know Alex feels the exact same way as I do. You're not trying to go viral with a post. You're not trying to come up. You literally, like, I hate when somebody's like, Josh, can you teach me how to go viral? Like, the virality of posts, it drives me insane. Your goal is not trying to go to get 1 million views. Plus, you're not trying to be the next influencer. You're trying to influence your community. Alec, I know you got some things to share on this, because I know you feel the same way.
Well, we started with, you have to have a community around you to begin with, right? That was the beginning of this whole conversation, was who you connected to. If you're not connected to anybody, you're not making an impact. So use these tools for human connection as opposed to like political rants and cat memes. And all of a sudden your content will have the distribution it needs to start making the impact it's capable of. Yes, you'll get on the For You page for 200 views. Yes, you'll get on, the Explore page on Instagram for a couple views. And maybe you hit some success. But virality is a problem, guys. You're not licensed in all the states. Like, there's huge problems with virality. You don't want to go viral in the Philippines, it's not helping you. So it's really like you want to be connected to the right community to make the biggest impact. And then from there, I want to hit on distribution again. So we talked about Sherry texting it out. Okay. But there's other methods to do this. So instead of using, people are mad because as the chief marketing officer, my team makes blast emails to send on behalf of the loan officers. And then every time I'm on a national call, I'm like, please don't send the blasts. Please don't do it. I know I made it, but please don't do it. Please send your own. Please send your own information out to your customers. Please be yourself. Please be a human being and not just a billboard for a company you work for. I'm the biggest cheerleader ever for Loan Depot, but please don't do it. Because what I want you to do is send out an e-newsletter that actually has your opinion on what's going on in the market, has your social posts that you think are relevant and powerful that you made this month that no one maybe saw because it's a scroll environment. And I want you to send that stuff out to your community and pull them back together where they can share it and connect and move it forward for you instead of hoping you're going to go viral. That's not a strategy. It's a pipe dream and it doesn't really work. So I don't get confused. It doesn't help you. I even watched the loan officer. I'm not going to be too like antagonistic here, but he went viral. He got 2.5 million views on a video where he used a whiteboard and talked about like the actual math behind like financing solutions. And it went viral, 2.5 million views. Guess what he's getting now? He's back to 250 views. That virality popped. He got some hit, and now he's back to 250 views. And his community didn't grow, or it did, but with the wrong people, and it didn't really deliver anything. Besides, I went viral, which kind of maybe feels good for a second. It doesn't work, guys. It's not the game.
It's not the game. And again, going back to what we have talked about, the people that will become part of your community because you went viral, the followers that come with it, again, you're not trying to create followers. You're trying to create a community. I always tell people time and time again, if you're building an audience, you're doing this for the wrong reason. If you're creating followers, you're doing this for the wrong reason. If you're building a community, like Alec talked about, you will win. Think about the people in your neighborhood, who you hang out with on the weekends. This is your community. These are your friends. These are the people who know, like, and trust you, the people you have relationships with. Just because you went viral doesn't mean you're going to have a relationship with somebody in the Philippines or in some rural part of wherever. Like, that doesn't matter. You're trying to truly share a message and a story that is going to impact and change their life, because ultimately that's our goal. So, Alec, I know we're 30 minutes into this call already, and there's so many things that we've shared. I want to keep moving on this because I want to continue to help people see that this subject in particular, you can succeed on. You can be successful on social media. It will help you grow your business. But one thing I hear a lot about right now, and I don't know if there's legitimately, I could pick probably 24 people out of this industry, but I don't think there's anybody better to speak on this piece in particular than you, because being with Loan Depot, you're in the marketing role of Loan Depot. Is there a place still in the world of social media for organic content, or is it a pay-to-play game? You mentioned click button, get mortgage. There are companies spending billions of dollars on marketing efforts. And we think, as the little guy, like Alec, Josh, I can't compete with those guys. I can't compete with these huge marketing companies of the world. But can organic content, and when I say organic, ladies and gentlemen, I mean it's not paid for. You're just putting out, you're recording a piece of content, you're getting it edited, you're putting it out, or you're editing yourself, you're putting it up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. That's organic. That's all. You're not paying for it to be pushed out. Is there still a place for organic content?
So I view content that's unpaid, just organic posting content, edited or unedited, as a billboard on the current freeway of life. So it ties into something I call micro impressions. So remember, people on these platforms are typically scrolling. That's the environment of this platform. That's what's happening. That's this house we're in. And so that means they're not necessarily watching every single video that comes into through their scroll. So, and you know this, meaning you, everybody, because you are doing this. So if your frequency is high, which I'll freak everybody out now, get it over with, you need to post every single day. For those of you that just immediately went, oh my God, just hang on, and we'll get there eventually. But they're going to scroll by you. Even if you spent $10,000 on most high edited video you possibly could do, they're still going to scroll. A bunch of people are going to scroll by it. So you got to distribute it with text and email separately. But what's happening in that micro impression is they're seeing you. They're seeing your energy. They're seeing your vibe. They're seeing your topic to a degree for really quick. They're seeing your enthusiasm. They're seeing your positivity. They're getting an impression of who you are by that moment they're seeing you before they scroll on. If you multiply those impressions over and over and over and over again, you're building awareness and brand and connection and stickiness. I'm going to give you an anecdote. I started personally doing this about 7 years ago because I realized that as a street originator, if I didn't figure out how to play digitally, I was going to be just leaving that space for my competition. And I wasn't going to be a good mentor or leader if I never started, and which kind of pushed me into the CMO job. It's a wild story. But I'm telling you this in the sense of to give you some encouragement because now when I go to industry events and I hang out with people and I walk around, I get people coming up to me that I've never met being like, Alec, dude, I see your crap all the time and I love it and it's awesome. Or they're like, oh, there's that idiot that posts all the time. I hate his stuff. And I walk away. But what I'm doing by staying so frequent and consistent is I'm building community and connection. So it's not about the virality of your post. It's not about the edited quality of your post. It's about the consistency of your post and the purpose of your post. Consistency and purpose. And when those two things are knocking out of the park, let me give you another example. Okay. Did anyone used to drop off flyers at real estate offices back in the day? Yes, all of us. If you're a real street originator, you dropped off flyers. Now, why were we dropping off flyers? Did we walk out with a pre-qual after someone called my flyer? No, no. But what happened was every time Don walked in there and dropped off a flyer, guess what? He made an impression. Somebody looked at his flyer, like, oh, Don was here. That guy works hard. Man, that Don guy shows up every freaking week. You know, that guy works harder than anybody I've ever seen. He comes to all my open houses. He's dropping flyers. This guy is a hustler. And they're building an impression of Don. Did that one flyer matter? No. Did the hundreds of flyers matter? Yes. It's the same thing with content. Don dropped off deviled eggs. See, this is even better that Gino's in the chat. This is unbelievable.
Thanks,
by the way,
Gino.
No.
I was called the Eggman.
I used to drop off fortune cookies that had a custom fortune inside that said your next loan with Alex going to close 2 weeks early and have my phone number in there. So, you know, whatever. By
Creativity.
The way, so did they care that it was a cookie or a deviled egg? No, but did Don make an impression? Did he build awareness? Did people know who he was? Damn right. So it's the same thing with content. Post yourself, not your company. I don't care if your company is on the shirt or on the, I'm good with that. But remember, people do business with people they like, know, and trust. Companies matter, yes. If they don't like the company, they may not even work with you, even if they like, know, and trust you. But man, it's so important that you show up authentically yourself on a consistent basis, and you will win.
Real quick on that, Alec. The other thing is, it's funny. I love you bring old school back up because it just twists at how you do it, but it has the same. Your goals are the same because even when we dropped off flyers, it gave us a reason one to go to the office to potentially meet someone as well. It's no different than your post, right? You're potentially going to attract someone, interest somebody, or get them to want to converse with you or talk to you or do business with you. It's no different. We just had to do it through flyers because that gave us a reason to go in the office. Otherwise, why are you in my office? You know, but hey, I'm delivering rate sheets. Nobody cared about those rate sheets. They really didn't. I hated those things because the rates changed daily. It was no different back then, but it gave me a reason to go in the office, just like delivering deviled eggs or whatever, is to make an impression and give an opportunity to talk to somebody to possibly get business. It's no different with your digital marketing, platform. Am I right?
Yeah. So Lynette has a question here on this exact topic. Would you recommend a personal daily post plus company related posts or the canned posts from the company, or only make personal posts? And here's my take. If the company puts out a post that is helpful, post it if it's helpful, if it's helping somebody. So for example, a new product comes out, a new down payment assistance program comes out. Yeah, you should post about it. But let me share how I think you should optimize that post. Put it as a green screen behind you and actually have you talk about the product and why it's helpful and why it's beneficial and what it does for people and why you're excited. That has much more impact than just here's the graphic that gives you the benefits of the new thing and here it is. I really think this is a game about human connection. And so let's use these platforms to create that human connection. Go be helpful, go be engaging and supportive, go love on people, And that's what marketing is today. You got to reframe it. And once you have that in your toolkit, you're going to be much more effective in driving this forward.
I think that's the key, Alec, is people, we as mortgage professionals have never been the best marketers. Like you said, we are great at knowing mortgages, having knowledge on mortgage. We've been okay marketers. I honestly, in my opinion, if you do social media the right way, it should be the easiest marketing you've ever done. Because honestly, to Lynette's question too, you're showing up as yourself. Yes, you should be using business, but I talk about quite frequently, like you should be sharing the personal stuff. Because think about the mortgage transaction. The mortgage transaction is one of the most personal transactions. You get to know people's social security numbers, how much money they make, and the kids, where they're living for Christ. Like, you know where these people live. I always love when people are like, oh, well, I don't want to share too much personal details. You know where people live. That's one of the most personal things ever, ladies and gentlemen. So why wouldn't you be willing to give your community, the people you're trying to build a relationship with, a little bit of a glimpse into your personal life? It's okay. It's okay. I'm literally in the middle of an ocean sailing. This is the lifestyle me and my family have chosen. People are like, does the dude work anymore? Of course, I'm on a call in the middle of the damn ocean. You can share your personal life. Now, Alec mentioned this. I don't want to see sometimes all your political opinion, or there are some
stay
things
clear of that stuff.
you just don't need to share it. But if you love Don loves motorcycles, I love motorcycles.
I was going to say,
Don,
what post do you recognize when I post? Is it about my mortgage stuff, or it's my motocross, huh?
It's because I rode as well. Don and I have that connection. When I see Alec posting about him in the gym, he knows I'm a fitness guy as well. So when I see him busting his ass and that he's lost so much weight in his journey, I feel connected with him because I've been that exact same place, or some of you want to go on that same journey. Ladies and gentlemen, it is okay to have both. You should be sharing personal posts about what's going on in your life. That doesn't mean you can't do mortgage posts as well. Alec mentioned too, your company. I know PRMG, Loan Depot, so many other companies out there, they provide content for you that is in help. If you can't think of a post a day, like Alec said you should be coming up with, that can be your filler content that can help you on this entire journey. Do not overthink this. Really, all of you mortgage professionals overthink this incredible opportunity that is social media. You've just got to get out there and start having some fun with it, because when you have fun, it makes this thing so much easier, right, Alec?
Yeah, so Troy put a comment in here, and I want to nail it. It says, can it really be as simple as posting stuff you personally would engage with when you're doom scrolling? So yes. I mean, yes. So like, if you see content creators out there who you like how they do stuff, and you like that's authentically you, then just be you. One of the mistakes people make is they try to be other people on social media. Oh, I see Josh killing it, and so I need to act like Josh. Oh, I see Alec doing this, I need to act like Alec. I see Neil Dingra doing this, I need to act like Neil. Like, these are mistakes. The reason that Neil and Josh are so successful is because they're authentically themselves. They're not masking, they're not mirroring. But let me unpack that at a deeper level. Has anybody ever taken the DISC profile test, or any personality profile test in the world, right?
Yep.
I'm going to use DISC as an example just because I want you to understand this. If you remember, there's the D in DISC, which is the driver personality type. These are the people who don't want to have small talk. They don't care about your kids. They turn on an egg timer and say, you have 1 minute to tell me why I should do business with you. These are the Ds, the drivers, the assholes. The Cs, the conscientious people, or they're the collaborators. They're the ones that are like, well, where do you want to go eat? Well, let's do it together. The S's, those are the steadiness, the engineers. They want to look at every line item of the 1003 with you and the LE. I want you to walk me through this right here. And the I's are the fun lovers, the inspirational people. They want to go have drinks. They want to have cocktails. They love people. They want to talk to everybody. And then they'll talk about business, but let's go have some fun. I'm hyper generalizing, but I want you to understand the point here. I was on a panel at Sales Mastery with a gal named Stephanie Johnson, and she's a Rockstar LO manager out in Texas area. And I was saying that you need to get on social media and you've got to be explosive. You got to catch attention. You got to be in it to win it, charismatic, loud, all the things that I am as a D and a /I. And then the Stephanie goes, well, she goes, well, here's my experience. I have my most powerful video on YouTube. I get like 4 to 5 deals or leads a week from this video, and all I do is walk through line by line a closing disclosure document.
Yeah.
It's a screen share, and it's as boring as you can think I just explained it to be. And that video has like 70,000 views, and she gets 4 or 5 leads a week. You know why? Because loan officers aren't explaining what a closing disclosure is. So guess what customers are doing? Going to Google and say, please explain to me a closing disclosure and all the fees I should look out for. And guess what Google does? Serves up Stephanie's video. So here's my comment. Here's where I'm landing this ship. There's a community out there for everyone. Everyone. And if you are meticulous and detail oriented and slow and thoughtful, then you should make content exactly how you believe it. And you should slow it down. And maybe you make longer form content. That's great. And explain things at length. If you're, fun loving, I used to crap on people who danced on TikTok. Oh my God, I was such a hater of people who danced on TikTok until I met Grandma Nat. Grandma Nat is a realtor in Kansas. And she's I don't know, she says Grandma Nat, but she's not that old. And she dances to the most ridiculous songs in a house she's selling in every room. She's shaking her tail. She's disco dancing. It's ridiculous. She's popping locking. She shouldn't be dancing. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And she has absolutely gone mega viral on TikTok. And guess what? Her business has freaking hockey sticked because people love her because she's just authentically silly. It's awesome. And then you've got, the Neil Dingras or the Min Wins, the Josh Pitts, the high energy, the on fire. Oh, here she is. Yeah. But look at this chick. I am in love with this person. She is. Look at her rocking it. So, and again, she's selling homes. Now, if that's not you, don't go be her. But if a part of you is fun loving, hysterical, then go be fun loving and hysterical. If you're detail oriented and thoughtful, go be detail oriented and thoughtful. If
I
you're
gotta
energetic,
get some new
charismatic,
moves, Alec. I just know I gotta get some new moves.
bro. I mean, I've just had my whole world opened up over the last 6, 7 years as I've just played in this space more and more frequently because there's a community for everyone. There's an audience for everyone. And if you're sitting here like I got a face for radio, I'm not Alec, I'm not Neil, I can't do any of this stuff, then go be you. You are enough because people are going to work with you. So go be you, no matter how your personality flies, and you're going to be shocked. Okay, let me just land the plane on this. Have you ever worked with a client that you absolutely did not see eye to eye on, and the entire transaction was a disaster? It just got worse every time. They hated you. They didn't like how you communicated. They didn't like what was going on, and it was just a mess. Or have you ever worked with a client that actually loved you, appreciated you, sent you a closing gift, and was so thankful to just have you guide them through the process? When you're more authentically you on all these platforms, you attract the people that are into what you do and your value set, and you detract the people that are over it. And that stuff works. And then all of a sudden you turn around and go, I mean, remember, Don, I'm sure you had this in your career where you were finally able to fire that one asshole realtor who you hated because your business got big enough?
It actually changed my career, being able to do that.
Yes.
100%. But I could still think of her. She almost made me quit alone.
So when you're running around in a scarcity model and you don't have it, you're like, oh, I need every deal I can get. So you kind of just deal with the crazy people because you're just, I need it. But once you start to have this, you just get over it, put your real self out there, you attract the community that appreciates you. Oh my God, it'll change your entire career when you're just real and authentic. And Grandma Nat is a great example of that. Stephanie Johnston explaining a CD for 5 minutes is an example of that.
You know Jim McMahon, right?
Oh, absolutely. Jim's
one of the first $100 million producers back in the day. And he changed my career because he's like, why would you want to quit? I'm like, I'm just working with, pardon my French, but a technical term, assholes. I just can't stand some of the people I'm working with, but I need all the business I can. And he basically told me this, and Gino's going to laugh. He's heard it 6,000 times, but it was basically, there's enough people, Donnie told me, there's enough people do business your way to not worry about those who don't. And I'm like, okay, let me go get the people I want to work with. And we changed that philosophy with the people we work with at our office too. Nobody on our team is an asshole. They're good people that I love going to work with every day. And no longer do I have, Gino knows our rule is, if I see their picture on the phone and I don't want to answer it, I fire them. because that means they just drive me nuts. They drive me insane. So I learned to just work with people I really like.
Well, Alec,
Yeah.
I think you landed it. You kind of landed this plane perfectly. Kind of at the end of this, as we start to wrap things up, is all of us have a community. Most of us are just too scared to go find it. Like that's
Yeah.
really what it is. Like
We're too scared to be ourselves, and that's the truth. And I own this because as a loan officer in the early days, I wanted to be for everybody. I played safe. I played straight down the middle. I didn't let my true self out because I was afraid people wouldn't like it. So I just played right down the middle, and that's pretty much what everybody does for long parts of their career. The true happiness is when you can shed the BS. And I don't mean be a psychopath, political ranting every day. I mean just like, look, so Don's got Yoda behind him, right? And that's intentional. No one puts Yoda behind him unless you got a secret nerd thing going on, and you want people to kind of know it's there. So if
That's
when
just
there are
what they
other
call me because I've been in the business for so long. They're like, yeah, so
fair,
Yoda. Yeah, you feel it. You're 300 years old.
when you let a little bit of your personality out, it changes your business, and you attract the community that digs who you are for who you are. And so if anybody gets inspired from any of this, go out and just let a little bit of that out every day and become more and more your authentic self. Stop caring what the haters think. They just leave. They block and mute. They go away. They don't actually stay around and hate. So that's really rare. Really rare. Most just separate and move on. But then what you attract is this entire community of people that love what you do and care about you, and it changes your business forever.
Wow.
I like
Mm.
we can't have a better ending than that. Like that's one of those mic drop moments, and that's why I have so much admiration for Alec. He continues to share things like this. If you don't follow, I would absolutely recommend. He kind of alluded to this. If you need inspiration, follow the right people. He mentioned Neil Dingra. He mentioned a few other names, Min Win. Go follow Alec in what he's doing. If you're ever wondering what people are doing to be successful, watch from the people who are doing it. Go follow these people. Get inspiration from them. But more importantly than anything that Alec just said, go start doing it yourself. Go find your people. Go and be unapologetically and authentically yourself, and you will find. I'm going to call Don a weirdo because he's a weird. Like you're going to find your weirdos in the world. We're all weird, ladies and gentlemen. We all have our thing, and you should be willing to accept that because those are the people that are going to know you, get to know you, and like you and trust you. So, Alec, I cannot thank you enough. This has been absolutely brilliant. You truly are one of those people to me who is a mentor, a friend, and somebody who will continue to be at the forefront of the mortgage industry, helping all of our mortgage professionals. And of course, huge shout out to Momentum Builder, Don, Gino, the entire team for allowing us to be here today and share something with you guys. If you got something from this, please go give some love to Alec over on his page. Go follow him and like what he does. Don?
Way to go. And Josh, you always bring value and you always bring rock stars. Alec, you nailed it. And if you watched this and paid attention and you were engaged, it was really good. Great job getting people engaged because you can see your passion, Alec, because you believe it, you live it, you love it. And that's what you got to be. If you really love what you do, you watch Josh. That guy has more energy than all of us put together. He does not need rock star. It's just contagious. So be contagious and do stuff you like, that you're passionate about, that you enjoy. Be real, be you. You watched Alec, you watched Josh. Those two live and breathe just being authentic and loving life and and just be that person. You watch, I'm telling you, I just downloaded, I'm freaking laughing my ass off. Grandma Nat, just share that with your peeps. Go, hey, check this lady out. They'll laugh their ass off. Make people feel good. Make them laugh once in a while. Use ChatGPT to get jokes, whatever it is. Just have fun. And I guarantee you'll build your community and stuff versus working with people that you feel you have to work with. I'm telling you, it has changed mine and Gino's careers by working with people we love. We love all of you, part of our Momentum Builder community. Please follow us because we need all of our community together to get better. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Josh. Make sure you're here next week. Another good call. And make sure that you sign up for Sales Mastery. It will sell out. You want to be part of this energy, part of this crew,